Gotta record.
So get
Perfect.
live on Facebook.
Yeah, working on that. I don't think yet that I'd figured it out to do it in our group, so it's still, I think it's already begun because I can hear in the background. Uh, Give me a few moments. We just gotta fill this in. This only gives me an option to share on my timeline yet. I need to look into that further. All right, hopefully I'll be live on Facebook, sister. Could
This
be.
is what I want to see.
Yeah, there we are.
Yes, we are there.
Good. So do you wish to play our introduction?
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included. Divine
Yeah, so there we go. That's a better introduction than hearing my voice. I love it. And Nessa did a great job with it. If I may, with everyone that's watching again, GPMS.world is the replacement system for the entire Earth. And having said that, it's done so simply by just gathering the majority vote consent worldwide. And once the people choose this all-inclusive new system that deprives no one of anything and does no harm, it's enacted into law. So the people need to understand that they are the absolute power. And with this, it's so easy to do what we're doing with GPMS for Earth, and it can be done in a month from now. However, we've been saying this for about 4 years, and it's just, there's a lot of ones that do not know their rights and do not have a substantial foundation in law in their rights to this degree. And, because of this, we look towards the leaders to carry the message. However, we have also been seeing a divine cognitive gap or dissonance to that degree with GPMS taking it forward. And again, GPMS is simple, a worldwide vote. Once we have the majority, this new replacement system outlined on the website is enacted into full law worldwide. Everyone's in full abundance, everyone is in freedom, and GPMS is doing it tangibly. It is the material manifest of heaven on earth, right onto earth. This is the most real uh, thing that you could ever get. It's being ratified. Everyone knows how treaties, accords, and laws work on Earth, and so this is not so hard for anyone to perceive, and not so hard for anyone to believe. And yet, we're seeing hesitancy, but that's not to blame others. It is to blame the actual evil, yes, but again, so many have been robbed of the basic rights and they don't even know it, and robbed of their ability to create physically and tangibly money, and they don't even know that yet. But part of our job is to say, come on, hey, you can do this. And we don't need everyone needing to know how to do it. We just need the support. Then a few can do this. And as I've said before, the reality of GPMS is so simple that a 12-year-old child could operate the entire earth and make it happy and abundant for everyone. This is really getting, right to the basics of how simple this yet is. Yet we have that gap in the consciousness and not the belief in it as much yet. However, uh, we don't stop, with this. And in this great time of ascension, ones keep awakening to higher levels of consciousness. So there is a somewhat trial and error process for many that are awakening to try fighting governments, protesting, and all of this, but they need to go through this course of experimentation to know that it doesn't work. Then they are ready for what does work and what is laid out for humanity in a beautiful golden bowl, if you will, right at their fingertips. So again, there is uh, that process with it, what we're doing. So having said that, without me speaking much on that, anyone can visit the website, and you can also email us. And also, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can leave comments and or questions, and we can answer them during the course of this. So I'll stop there, Sister Beatrice, if you wish to take us through.
I would like to start with a question about the ascension, what it is new, because we have also in Canada more than 200 fires. So Canada is just burning again and again, and many people remain again without housing and everything. So what it is new on the ascension today?
Well, with the ascension today, and ones need to understand that at any given time, with this overall ascension, the amount of numbers that are going forward of the population, it varies from any given day because everything is based on energetics, if you will. Just for an example, there was a period last year that only 2 billion were able to go forward to the fifth dimension at that time. Then after that, it was up to 6 billion and then 5 billion. So the point I'm making, at any given time, if one's asked for a general figure, how many are able to go forward, this number will fluctuate from I because it's based on the energetics more or less at that time. But more importantly, it's also based on the choices Everyone needs to realize on earth they are given the free will choices to do what is right and what is best. And every time that they renege on that or do not make the right choices, it causes things to happen in reality. Now, it's not to put blame, but it's to evaluate objectively the great effects that each soul has on the overall timing of the ascension as well. Where we are currently at now, what is important for any watching this, you're in alignment with Ascension, you're in alignment with GPMS, the divine plan, and your basic divine and spiritual knowledge has you in alignment with going forward. So, any of you that are watching and are already a part of it, you are fine. You're already on the ark, if you will, Noah's Ark, the Ark of the Covenant, the New Testament, the rapture. So, you can use so many terms, and also put the blue star Kachina in there as well. And of course, the eagle and the condor prophecy, and all of these worldwide describe this time of the great golden age. Um, Getting back just though to your question on the ascension. At this time, as was said, the floods, fires would increase because, again, there's not been enough turning back towards God and doing the right thing and to come into alignment because the new reality has to be supported. This current reality and system is the beast system. It inflicts and causes harm, and unless it is unless it is eradicated, it doesn't, you cannot have the heaven on earth scenario because this is designed, the beast system, to constantly pillage energy, to uh, buy souls, to control souls, to inflict harm, and to create circumstances that constantly create negativity and fear. Because again, every reality is based on the dominant value of the energy, whether it be negative or heaven on earth positive. So the beast system is designed to negatively, through fear, uh, create hardship, suffering, death, all of these things. And at this great time, the pressure is being put on everyone with the floods and fires, earthquakes, volcanoes, hail. All of this has also been prophesied. So we're at this point now, no one can really refute it that has had a basic understanding of what was written in religious texts, prophecy, what have you. The foundation and the signs to look for have been prevalent throughout antiquity in all the beliefs. And we're at a point now that, yes, it's irrefutable. I use Romania as one example. What I saw, I think, yesterday is I don't know who posted, but they have a lot of followers. And what they had put out, these are the end times that were written in the Bible. Now, even though they didn't have the new times of GPMS yet, they're in the right direction because they are recognizing what it is. And then they can quickly associate then with the heaven on earth, what is coming. They'll be more adept and more readily easy to connect the two dots to identify, all right, here's the mass destruction that was foretold to come, if you will, on so many levels. But this means that we've also been told, if we've been told the mass destruction would come and it's here, we were also told the kingdom of heaven would come. So that has to be here as well. So then they began to look for it, and voila, here's the divine plan already here to save everyone, if you will, in the blink of an eye. So just to let's say, sum up with the ascension, it's an ongoing process. It's variables because you have so many co-creators that make a difference with their choices on Earth, and it affects linear time on how long things will take. And what I will say, the evil, the remnants of them, the resistance are very real, even though their attempts are futile to stop this. They throw wrenches into the mechanics whenever they can to lead ones astray. These are typical tactics of the darkness and evil to make many different beliefs so that many are all separated and divided, and their tactics of separation, so they're able to control humanity. But again, GPMS has made it simple for everyone to come together with that one common goal: freedom and abundance, peace, love, and harmony. And GPMS is the vehicle to do that. However, there is that cognitive dissonance that is still there at different levels, but this will break. You have most of what you would call the light workers oblivious to their actual full mission here yet, which is to establish heaven on earth and play the roles in that. And but this is not to say each day that then the light workers will receive some more information to be part of this. And what I openly say, I'd anticipated long ago we would have had the GPMS heaven on earth already done, but it's obvious that it's because it's the variables that affected are many yet. And this is where Father Prime Creator and Mother Prime Creator has taken matters more into their hands with the floods, the earthquakes, to force ones to look up and to really look to see what is going on. So this is by the divine nature to effect the overall cause and effect, that even when ones lose many things, with the floods, they lose their homes. With the tornadoes, they're losing everything. But what this is also doing is putting the absolute pressure on governments and insurance agents in the old beast system, where it's too much because of how their economics is structured, and it's putting the cards on the table, if you will, that if the governments and insurance agents worldwide have all this money to replace the homes and the vehicles and all of this damage, and then, the first question is, where are they getting it from? But the thing with this, the answer to that question is that money is actually made unlimitedly. It's just how it's made and controlled in this beast system. So it's putting them in a catch-22 situation, a conundrum of where the system has no choice but to further expose itself by accommodating ones with insurance monies and what have you, or their total demise and jeopardy at doing nothing. So it's a win-win situation for all of the souls and the heaven on earth. So with this overall ascension, it's up and down, but currently we're going in a huge incline upward with us. And it's important not to judge any of your brothers and sisters, no matter what level of consciousness they're at, but it's fine to evaluate objectively as part of your judgment, but don't condemn them. It's very important not to project a condemning energy upon them. Know that your genuine brothers and sisters are coming along at some time. So you don't want to put extra weight on them by saying, they're not awake, they're not going to awaken. So you don't want to condemn them, because each one of you are becoming a powerful, more co-creator on the energetic level, and what you think, what you do, and what you say is having a more profound effect and impactful effect on reality. So keep with the faith, keep with the truth, and as all of you know, God is in the human psychology for a reason, because without it, you would have no direction, no one out of this world. There would be no solution. So this is the direction, and uh, it is the way to go forward. Thank you.
Yeah, so as I said a little bit before, we should involve everyone, not be all the time me that I'm speaking. So if Dave wants to speak, Frank, Everson, uh, Agnes, Lodi wants to speak, please. Yes, Frank?
Yeah, a question came up when Rick was talking there for me. Just you were mentioning about the troubles and the floods and everything, the damage, the fires causing all this destruction to expose the hole or failure in the beast system. Is that right? Like they either have a like the way I guess we've been led to believe is like we pay into insurance with pre whatever, and there's a big pot of money there to take care of your house if something happens or whatever, and so all this destruction and damage is occurring to be overwhelming for that. So then they, you know, they the what is it, the accounting doesn't really balance because there's too much damage to cover what we've supposedly put into it or something. Is that
In part, exactly.
what it's
Yes,
about?
please continue, brother. Yes, in part.
Okay, so then but like um I think a lot of people are really part of the system now, or the belief in that, the confidence in it, that there's a way out or whatever for the damage through the insurances and stuff. But then, it, like, how does it get shown to people, or like to explain that, yeah, there isn't enough money there? Like, I've heard that before through different people talking from different kind of businesses or whatever, and with insurance companies, that yeah, if there's a huge earthquake or something, there's not going to be the insurance money to replace your home.
It,
So people know this and talk about this openly, but is this what it takes to actually show it to everybody,
it's
like to
part of
prove
it.
it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, exactly.
okay,
When you look at the wide scale destruction and devastation, if you will, let's take North Carolina with the Great Flood and the communities gone there. And to my knowledge, nothing to any degree by insurance companies was delivered there yet. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but to my knowledge, no, not to any great degree, and not even any government assistance to any degree the last time I checked. Now, having said this, what I'm also seeing as an indicator is that some insurance companies are not going to be insuring water damage, floods, these sort of things, what they typically insured in the past. So what this is also doing is you're going to reach a point where if insurance doesn't insure anything, what is the use of it? Just to hypothetically say, because in reality, insurance doesn't exist in the new world. It doesn't need it. Everyone is bonded by their own self worth, if you will. It's not needed, and if any in the new earth, if any accident was to occur, it is at no loss to anyone. Anything that is lost is instantly replaced to the fullest. It's because the system is the direct retribution for any loss instantly. So there is no suffering and no harm associated with it. Uh, but getting back to again what you're saying about the insurance companies, you'll see, yes, little different indicators. And this is for also ones to have the experiences to say, all right, I got insurance, but I'm not covered. This is corrupt. It said in my policy or what have you, my understanding that I'd be covered with these certain particulars. And here it is, no, we're not covered. And it also begins to show more of the falsity of the system and the legal system and what have you. But go ahead, Frank. I got rambling.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying there, and um, I guess yeah, more of these experiences will happen for individuals to bring it to their attention that yeah, this is a kind of a false system, and then get them talking and looking for answers or ways around or not around, like, and that's an opportunity to like explain the GPMS model or system to them and uh, how it all works with the coverage of bringing the intrinsic value out into the open. Basically, it's like I guess the money system itself has been hidden. The source of it has been hidden from us believing that yeah, there's a big pot of gold somewhere that here you can sign this paper and you can have some of this pot of gold, but you got to pay interest back to it. But it's not really there. It's the banker groups or whatever controlling the access to it and making you believe you don't have access to it or where it comes from. It's in their hands until you agree to pay interest on it. And um, but I guess how do we show people that that's going on? It's like there's a lot of
Well,
maybe
yeah,
yeah.
I know, and we'd have to look at to the degree that it's escalating. So it's becoming more and more of a big problem, if you will, worldwide. So organically, the more and more that are having the experiences, they are looking even for more of the truth, but also more of the solution. So on an organic level, again, here we are here waiting for these ones that come up out of it. And if you look at it in a minutia way, you would say it would take forever. But if you look at the macro worldwide, where I say it's happening everywhere's worldwide all at once, this has more of a compounded effect at shortening the time to get to the heaven on earth replacement system. Again, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's just it's to have an understand like when I'm talking to people and have an understanding how to explain it, um, and like how to explain the solution. Like a lot of I can tell by people's reactions sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, like yeah, that's a fantasy kind of thing. Like it's not the world we're living in. What's wrong with you? Like what are you talking about? That's like, and it's like to like, but like okay, I haven't like your experience has been deep into the financial system or whatever. I haven't been, so I'm all I know is what I've lived so far, which is the beast system, right? So I don't have the experience or knowledge to explain the secret system of money supply, like so it's like, well, I'm taking another guy's word for another system. It's to how to, like
However, if I may say, Brother Frank, ever since been here, you have been responsible for educating yourself and knowing more.
yeah,
And having said this, with with GPMS representatives, I'd say as long as we have 300 that are knowledgeable enough worldwide sitting on the panel, that's all it takes. You don't need the big numbers. You just need a certain quorum of ones speaking the same language of how
right,
easy it is. I mean, you look at worldwide today, just over 200 world leaders are dishing out that belief system to the majority of the planet. But here we come with the new ultimate all-inclusive solution system, and where you have 300 speaking about it, and then it goes quickly. Everyone doesn't, this current beast system, you don't need to know the mechanics of it, the deep mechanics and how it works, because through each one's experience, you know that it doesn't work and how it's wrong. So you don't really need to dive into it and dissect all of the details. You just take the whole thing. It doesn't work. What do we want? What does the people want? What is morally right to do? You can keep it that simple. And when you ask that question, what do you want? Well, you want freedom, you want abundance, you want joy, you want happiness, you want peace. You don't want taxes and all that ridiculous stringent policy. So when you look at GPMS in our guidelines, but also on our comparison of old versus new page, everything that everyone wants is there. That's why we say it's an easy choice.
oh
But
yeah,
you have many contributor factors. You have that mistrust element as well. So it is quite a thing, but we do persevere.
yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, so Frank, for example, in Alberta, when I was buying a house in 2015, I called the insurance company and I asked also for insurance for earthquakes. And they informed me there is no possible to cover me for that. And I said, but the real estate has a high values in general. And the house also had a very high value at the time. And I said, how it is possible? And they said, no, we do not cover for that. Then I asked another one. They said, no, we do not cover for that. That practically what happened there, I discovered at the time via the internet that the people try to be involved in the common law, artificial law court, and they try to bring the oil and gas companies forward on the court to demonstrate that by their method of extraction of oil and gas, they provoke earthquakes.
Okay.
So practically, it was a fight inside of where the system for sure did not recognize, because the system it is on the favor of the oil and gas companies, and practically all the artificial real estate money involved there. There was on the people, so practically the oil and gas here in Alberta, it's about that the people have at the time probably 70% or so, very high percentage of the people they were involved to work for these companies. At the same time, if you work for that company, you cannot bring the company on the curb because tomorrow you have
Right.
salary.
Yeah. Shoot the hands of easier, right?
Exactly how you are kept inside of the system,
Yeah, yeah.
Not, yeah, so you have to cover your house for the earthquake that is provoked by the type of fracking or something that oil companies produce. At the same time, you are not covered, but you own the money to a bank if this earthquake destroy your house because you have a mortgage there to pay on top that you
Just a
remain without the house. And I said,
just a
oh my
big
God,
trap. Yeah, just a big
exactly.
trap. Jeez.
I saw the trap. And I said, how it is possible? It's oh my God. So minimum give me, a house of $10,000 that if I lose tomorrow, I can buy another one back. But if you start with the houses of 5 million or something, and you are inside of this trap,
Hmm.
where are you going? And if you
Mm.
want to live in a house less expensive, you have to move really less expensive. You have to move outside from these big cities. So practically, this is a capture.
Right. Yeah.
I try to remember the people about this kind of things. And right now, with the fire in Alberta, they said that for this year there will be an approval of $160 million for the fire. In reality, to fight what? So practically the weather. Do not bring the fire to control the fire. In
Mm.
reality, nothing like that happens. So we have 200. And more fires in Canada.
Mm.
And Canada is burning just again. So nobody controls nothing. The White Hats is in the United States and also on Canada territory. So everybody is there. Trump is there right now, chosen since November 2024.
Oh yeah.
But 2025 is just another summertime. It's just another fire summertime for all
Hmm.
the people who lose the house this year. So this is what we are living in Alberta, and
Mm.
also you know about that in BC. So it's just simple. Yesterday, I explained to somebody via the phone when I was called from a bank and everything investment, and I said, he said, I am from Saskatchewan. And I said, do you have some fire there? And he said, yes. Do you want to change this word and do not have summertime anymore? And he said, yes. So please choose
Well, that's the solution, eh? It'll change the
divine-gpms.world.
weather.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because you will have money to invest on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, so they can see through the example. It's just simple.
Well, I guess yeah. Maybe that's the thing is just keep talking, keep laughing at them, and the more and more people catch on and say, yeah, this current system's a real joke. Like, let's get it like get our shit together and sort things out. People like, yeah, I don't know. Hmm.
Yeah, so as I spoke with you this week, and also Dave, I saw some comments in Quebec. They voted to cut ties with the monarchy.
Oh yeah.
But this is not the cutting ties with the darkness, as they saw that the Rockefeller and other agenda are still there,
Hmm.
because the civil law, the artificial law, is keeping all of that. And this is not yet replaced, and this will be not replaced by the politician. This has to be replaced by the people. So the people from Quebec needs to be involved,
Hmm.
and also the people worldwide. Yes, Rick.
Thank you. In alignment with, you began to touch on with the insurance, on the legal system, if you will, and the laws surrounding the insurance policies. But taking it out in a bigger picture, a sister from Australia that were had some collaboration with, in conjunction with all of the unlawful behavior by the child protective agencies worldwide. As a result of this, uh, I am very well lawfully inclined, and I know where to research and do things, if you will, online. But what I wish to say, which I'm very happy to hear, is that the artificial intelligence platforms are also being enhanced with more of the direct hire laws, up to date laws, and basis that is more readily accessed to the individual. because one of the reasons the worldwide corruption with lawyers at about money and just playing with the system. What this also is beginning to break through at this time is the ability of ones to be able to represent their self in any temporary court before we get to the heaven on earth. So this is such a beneficial knowledge for ones to know as well. Um, Meaning that, yes, most, if not all, the legal systems worldwide are compromised and are unlawful. But what this also does, it allows you to go to the basics of law, which is, again, GPMS, the fundamentals is, the principles of law is supposed to be based on the human rights, the intrinsic rights of every individual. But just to keep it short, so some of these AI platforms, to my knowledge, some law firms are already using them, but it's also perhaps accessible. I didn't look in any fees or what have you, but I mean, if you look at Chat GPT and these sort of things, what's occurring is that these free, accessible AI versions are also going to be populated with this very important information. And the overall effects of this is, again, tearing down this beast system, because within the beast system or any legal or system where there is conflicting laws and where things are not clear and precise, it actually renders the system null and void. And what I say with that, all legal systems worldwide, including international law, has no effect and is nullified and void for various reasons without saying what those are. But just to let everyone know, this is one of the beneficial uses of AI that we are seeing. But also, having said this, in the new world, artificial intelligence is a great tool to support humanity when it's in the good hands. This is the thing with it. Currently, today, it is mostly, let's say, not in the people's hands because it exists on an internet which is accessible. But where you have, let's say, the darkness owning the control to that internet, it can be taken at any time. But with GPMS, again, what we do is the people take the lawful ownership of the internet to secure it to be used for the good things in the future. And of course, AI, when you have everyone in complete abundance, joy, no reason to fight or what have you, then the AI is actually not contaminated. It is purified as a good tool. And this is along the same premise as what we're doing with money, temporarily keeping that in the new world. So we're flipping on how money was used. Money here is used evilly and used to control and to cause suffering and what have you. But in GPMS world, the tables are flipped and money is used as an all abundant tool worldwide to uplift and support and raise all boats. So the same thing with the artificial intelligence. Now, the artificial intelligence at this time only has the capacity of 4D, of the fourth dimension. And the reason why it does is because it still has negative intent into it that is part of what is there. In the fifth dimension, it becomes purified with none of this negative energetic attributes of control and all of this. It cannot exist in this world. So then what you have is artificial intelligence transitioning to a completely absolute purified beneficial tool for humanity because none of its input in this new world would be negative. But Brother Dave's got his hand up.
Yeah, I just wish to further this whole discussion, specifically when you just talked about the financial system and addressing Brother Frank in how do we show our brothers, and also with Sister Beatrice and the trap. It's really an education issue. Everybody would agree with that right now. And so I just have a few things to forward regarding that, because they're so clear and concise. Initially, there's materials out there. I've just outlined specifically 4 books that really remove any doubt whatsoever as to the system that we're involved with. I've mentioned it before. One of the strongest ones is Michael Tellinger's Ubuntu, Contributionism. It's a carbon copy of exactly what we're doing here at GPMS. The decree shows that. But essentially, he overturns the whole system in a very short and concise way. And if anybody can, get their mitts on that, there's no doubt. Also, many people know about the creature from Jekyll Island, G. Edward Griffin, that totally turns around the American banking system as of the early 1900s. In Canada here, we have Larry Elford, Farming Humans. He has a long history in the financial system and has the courage to call it out with his experience. And then if we need to know about the general shape of society and the totalitarian agenda, then you have The Origins of Totalitarianism by Hannah Arendt, who actually lived through the Second World War and the atrocities of that. But I have a 1.5-minute video if you want to co-host me. It's basically outlining the system that we live in 1.5 minutes by this sort of Simon Wiesenthal type of guy. It would be beneficial for anybody who may happen to come upon this scene.
Yeah.
And I can play it if you wish.
So Rick, you are right now the host. Yes, Dave, you are
It
the
should be
host.
all
Okay.
good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, you good to go, Dave?
Yeah, I am.
Perfect.
Usually you have to click share sound. There it is. Got it. Okay, so this is just a short, concise summary from this gentleman.
You were born in a cold prison. It is your country, your state. Number 2, you have to pay for the prison stay. They call the prison fee taxes. Number 3, you have no say what will be done with the money. But you have to pay. Number 4, to pay the money you have to work. The prison encourages you to buy new shiny products, so you feel better about your poor existence. Number 5, you are not allowed to exit the prison far enough to see the prison wall. Number 7, the prison gives you news and entertainment so that you don't discover the prison walls. Number 8, the prison does not allow strong family bonds or strong brotherhood unless you are a part of the group that is running the prison. Number 9, the prison you live in wants you weak, sick and divided, because weak prisoners can't climb the walls. And most important, number 10, the prison is mostly run by other prisoners. It will collapse if enough prisoners will wake up. You were.
So yeah, essentially number 10 is the key issue there. that people understand what's going on, and that appears to be the difficulty. Specifically, you can look at the banking system that was mentioned. We're dealing with a fiat currency, and that means nothing, and it's only by who's running that system that creates the reality that we live in. So, in any case, those are just a few items to possibly pass on to folks if they may come across this video. And it's, like I say, it's an education process that's unfortunately doing battle with $1 trillion propaganda campaign. So thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a discussion of a couple of days ago about the protest with a neighbor here. So he was practically asking when I presented him GPMS if I agree with the protest that happened, the first protest in Canada and everything, when practically the government was coming against the people, their CMP and everything that happened in Toronto, and how I can see that. And I said, okay, do you know we have 23% of the population, they are artificial, they have no soul, and many of them, they are directed towards government places. So this is one of the issues that we cannot go there to ask them nothing, because they have a software, they are programmed, they will be not able even to understand us. So to the point then that yes, it's the most important, that there are other prisoners, that there are others on the base of the pyramid scheme, but at the same time, some of them, they are artificial and they are not able to understand. It doesn't matter what, so they are programmed on the pyramid scheme. And when he understood that, and I said, okay, so we have the way right now to move out from the system in another way, and this is the universal laws, then he took the card. So this should be also added to that probably video or something like, because they will never wake up. So we'll have a very high percentage on those that they run the others on the pyramid scheme to a certain level. They will never wake up. So do not put our focus or waiting time on the direction that they will wake up somewhere here, then we'll be covered on the base. Will be not working that way. Some of them, they will, but they will be looking on around, and as employee, they will see also other employees that they have no soul, that they cannot awake anymore, so they cannot still speak there. They will be just in another small prison in the big picture of the prison. So the waiting time has to end. This is my message. And for the real ones to come with GPMS on this direction, because collapsing the system is very hard when the pyramid, we have a lot of people here with soul, and here we have blockage. Some that have soul, some they have not, some have soul, some they have not. So there it's also a filter that is very hard to pass through. So the best way is to avoid any kind of government, and do not wait for this waiting time that is killing the million of the people. So we should gather with GPMS, because this is another way not only to see, watch how the system collapse. So the system will collapse anyway when GPMS is formed, but to accelerate that on this way. Yes, Rick. Oh no, it's Frank that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what you're saying there, it's like those are like the guards in the prison, the artificial people, or the dark ones or whatever within the government agencies. Yeah, I want to thank Dave for that video. I've seen that before, but it's a great summary of where we are, and yeah, if more people can see that, that'd be great too. um, there was when Rick was talking about AI and how it's going to basically it's a great education tool for people to educate themselves and represent themselves and kind of empower themselves, which is all good. Um, we were at home here asking AI about where money comes from and that kind of thing, and it was kind of funny. It was explaining how the money is like based off of the debt and the loaning and the borrowing, and when it also said when there's more money paid back, like when your loans are paid off, there's less money available. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. If there's this pot of cash somewhere that we're being loaned to by the banks, if we pay it all back, doesn't that replace the money? But it says that no, there's less money and when you pay it back, there's less money available, basically what it's saying. And it's like that there just shows you how it's backwards to me. I don't know.
But anyway, it's very hard to even to explain to a very intelligent child how the money are working. I tried with my son when he was very, very young, and he was not able to see that. And I say, okay, but because I have a very high on this artificial system background on the financial and everything, I started to explain him things, and he started a little bit to see, but practically he rejected first time. After that, so this is the indoctrination. After I started to tell him this is how the system is working, I'm not saying it's perfect, but this is the way that you will find inside of the system. Then he started to memorize, not really to understand. Then when he made the mistake were not mistake, because practically he was awake since he was young. So we indoctrinate the people on this way. There are two things all the time that I found in the last time. So the video, yes, it's excellent, but I found all the time other two things that are pertinent for 2025. One, it is the waiting time. Wait because the system anyway collapse, and it started to collapse, but they will do not replace the artificial laws. So this is not about cut the ties with the darkness, it's cut the ties with some institution of the darkness. This is very different, but keeping others. So the darkness will be still not yet removed. This waiting time we are doing on the top of the pyramid, we are doing that. So you just need to watch, relax. And the second one, it is, yes, Beatrice, GPMS is amazing, but something in the intermediary has to happen until GPMS. Then they run their agenda and they attract people there. Then GPMSC has no vote enough to start. So these two things,
Okay.
waiting time and having something else that
A
is
distraction.
exactly, both of them are distraction. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Rick.
Yeah, yes, sister, in the chat. So I got a request on the screen uh, to record to the cloud. Is anyone here did that? I'm unfamiliar
Yeah,
with the prompt.
it's just not necessary. The video it's already recording because we share on the Facebook, and second, it is recording on my computer. Yes, it
Perfect.
can be
Good night.
also on the cloud. For example, if we run meetings on the cell phone, we are somewhere on the city, we cannot go to the house for the computer or something like. Yes, there is a space for the cloud where the meeting can be there. if it is not shared also on the Facebook. So
All right, so I'll just click start recording for the cloud. That should accommodate the request then, is it?
so it's not necessary at this time.
All right, I'll deny it then. Thank you. Good.
Yes, so Rick, on these two situations, a waiting time because the system anyway will collapse, then there will be a very high time when the people pass away. And something intermediary needs to happen until GPMS happens because it's not possible to start GPMS directly. On the second one, if you'd like to develop more, because I'm really confused with this situation that appears it seems more from the United States and penetrates now everywhere via white hats.
Excuse me, did you ask me a question? Was that directed towards I, sister?
Yeah, so what it is developed on 2025 right now? There are two things. One, it is wait because the system collapse. So it's like we, the head, in the United States will collapse the bed system and everything, but they do not change the law, the artificial laws. So there are cut of ties with some institution, worldwide institution as United Nations, WHO, etc. But the ties with the darkness is still not cut because they are keeping up the artificial laws, because only by the artificial laws they can still be on the top of the pyramid. And at the same time, they are saying, yes, we like GPMS, but something intermediary needs to happen until GPMS may happen because it's not possible to pass directly to GPMS. So if you'd like to develop on this.
The most recent update, and I reiterated it here in a short conversation with Femke this morning as we were evaluating the overall ascension. And I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Right at this point, at least today, what we're looking at is December. It's still the same December of this year that we should be into the complete GPMS.world. But as I mentioned earlier in this, it fluctuates, but it's still consistent yet over the last couple weeks that is a tentative time, as we saw last November 15th, if you will, the prophecy given to I from the fathers that November the 15th, it was very possible. However, that one did not come to fruition, but there was the test run on it to absolutely see if it would have much effect. And actually, as everyone knows, we're all still here that it didn't. There was not enough energetic creational support. Nevertheless, it needed to be tested. So the uh, incentive, if you will, was put out in October prior to that date to build up the energetic momentum and alignment for it, but it wasn't enough to change reality. But also by doing this and putting it out public beforehand, what it actually caused was the resistance that is out there to take other maneuvers to try to prevent this, but at the same time, exposing more and more worldwide, if you will, the actual nonsensical resistance and insanity, but again, the compounded enslavement effect upon humanity. So it did serve a divine purpose, even though it did not come to fruition. And in retrospect, it's easy to see that it was meant to serve another purpose, in which it did. But also, it was tested again in March. We did another test, but no, as we saw that no lift with it whatsoever. So it doesn't matter with organizations worldwide of the elites of the WHO, the UN, and how much all of those are infiltrated or are just totally part of the totalitarian, the evil. It doesn't matter because again, you always have to look at the numbers and with this, the people are the majority again. So it's just simple. And what I say to ones, don't put your focus on what they are doing. They are small in number, but if you put your focus on there, then you are distracted from what the majority are doing. So, what I say is we observe neutrally the destruction of the man-made artificial laws, and because again, they cannot compete when they are being pressured by everything we're doing. And just quickly with Sister Nya and with her children and this deep, I call it a yucky investigation because you got to go back down into the confines of the beast system, if you will, to identify with others, to educate and bring them out of there. And for it's and also Sister Nya, it's something that it doesn't resonate at all. And but we need to do it, as I said, and we are seeing breakthroughs and ripple effects since the last couple weeks. Every time we do something in there, we are seeing the ripple effects of the light is actually bringing things to the surface. For example, I think just the other day, again, another pedophile ring exposed. But these are examples and indicators of what we're doing. And also another quick indicator confirmation is that what we saw a couple of days ago in Austria, a family court judge actually with the dad abusing his children, if you will, and but his children still loved him and his wife, and they still wanted to be with him. So the story that come out is that the judge said, all right, he just got to go get some assistance, and the family is more important. So they didn't take the children. What they actually did was what they should have done. And this is a very important micro indication of the effects that we're having on this to change it. So we are having the effects, and it is confirmed. But again, we don't know how long this will take. But again, when you inject the truth, see, love is truth and truth is law. And when we inject that in from the higher consciousness, there is no competition from the legal system. It cannot compete with the higher truth and consciousness. So then we see these ripple effects at it, breaking it apart. It's been a tedious, yucky process with this over the last 3 months. All of my divine time is pretty much dedicated to it. And also, we are constructing new lawful temporary templates that can be used to empower all of the parents, moms, and dads, if you will, and with that education. But I call these only temporary templates because in the heaven on earth, everyone, you don't need any of this foolishness, is what I call it. But we need to deal with these foolish things to break this down and put morality in there so others can more readily see what's right and wrong, but more importantly, to know their rights. They don't know their rights in here. This is why so many children have been stolen. So there is that education, as Brother Dave and Frank has brought up too, that needs to be done. And let me say it's a yucky, delicate process, but very importantly, we are seeing the ripple effects and the confirmations. And also, I with Father God 2 days ago, I was like, Father, can't I just let it all go and go into the love? No, you got to do it. And so, so we got to stay here and do this yucky stuff for a bit. But we are advancing. Keep it simple. Thank you.
Mhm.
As Frank said, also that practically with the children and everything, because we have the parents that need to discover GPMS and what GPMS is doing also for the children, it's only the time until they will discover and they will see just another application of doctor system. So practically they have no rights there and everything. So it's like, this is also on the good direction, but again, how long time this may take.
Yeah.
This is like an application, it's a sort of awakening at the same time the population and also part of the resistance until GPMS is happening. And for all the parents here, when they are part of a group, as mother and father for the children that are missing or whatever happened there, and you go in a court, even that it is based on artificial laws, when they will find a huge number with the parents on GPMS, they will know that something that is coming from here is very, very serious. I'm not saying be part of GPMS to intimidate the judge in the court, but I'm saying the judge will think twice. And also everybody there, the police and everybody, when they will see the number gathering of the parents, but they need to do that. And I'm sending messages and messages also for the parents that post right now, like children missing and everything. I share the GPMS website to come. So this will be a huge moment probably in the future. And I hope that this will come soon. Yes, Agnes.
Thank you very much. I want to share something with you, and at first I would like also to thank you for the last interviews with Brother Rick and with Laura, Maria, because it was also for me much more opening and exposed the system, and also the courage that they spoke about it. And yeah, that's very big thank you for this. And I wanted to share also what I was thinking, what I can contribute also to the Divine GPMS. And I was inspired by the children because I took these things which I have, my bicycle and children's chalk, or crayon, you say, I think also. And I was writing in collaboration with Mother Earth. I was putting the name Divine-gpms.world on some public places, very big. And I thought I will write it down somewhere. It's just 5 or 6 meters long because it's very long. And I've had some nice conversations, and it is possible to make it because it's a crayon, and I can communicate and show it. And some people ask me about this, which I didn't thought that someone asked me, because I was just writing and they came to me. And I know nice places where a lot of public comes. So I thought it's a good idea. And I felt after this, when I done this, because I'm in a big city, and very, very good. So it feels so strong. So I started with 1, 2, 3 times, then I made it 2 days later. So, so what I want to say with this, that there's always a way how I can communicate to make it public and to be a part of this. And I didn't thought it is possible because I couldn't say it to people because I don't know so many people. But it is free just to read it, to put it in an iPhone or somewhere and to look. And I say also, you can please read it. And yes, but a conversation about this, about some themes, about people, money, and no food for children all over the world. So I came together and it was very, very inspiring, very strong for me. So that's what I wanted to share. So I need also only bicycle crayons. I have here the rest some. And I've met also a policeman. He asked me, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, that's crayon, no problem. And so the rain or Mother Nature, they make it clean after a few days, maybe. And I can start in new places. So that's an idea what I want to share, how I can contribute. And then I wanted to ask about in the old system about the signature under the judgment, because I made this experience that a lot of these people don't really sign with their real names. So for me, it's not, yeah, it's, I don't know what's the word for this, but someone, an employee confirms that the lawyer write it, that's right, but for me it doesn't make sense. So I just want to maybe more,
You mean a
more
proxy,
know about
Agnes?
this. Pardon?
What are you asking about the signature? Do you mean a proxy to assign someone else
Yeah,
to be able to sign
no,
for you?
I mean, I had some letters from the judge, and it's not really signed. So I mean, in all this team, when we talk about the this team with children, also a lot of letters are not really signed with the real names, and sometimes they wrote electronic signature like this. I don't know. If it's clear what I'm asking that. I mean, these letters, when I write a letter, I should write my name under this. So that's lawful, yeah? And in my experience,
Well, you can.
pardon?
Hmm. I believe we got a little lag. Yeah, yeah, you can sign if you will, if you wish, but also e-signing, electronic signing, that is accepted for legal documents, to my knowledge, at least in
Mm-hmm.
some countries. But also, what I suggest with any of your documents is when you put your name down there, put in the name of God as well there, or in the name of
Mm-hmm.
Prime Creator. It does carry an energetic weight, and I am suggesting for all to begin using this encryption or this inscription, I believe would be the in all of your documents at the bottom by your name. Um, so, and also I'll bring up once you're done, Agnes, tips for the mom, the PAS, the parent alienation syndrome, and I'll just bring up a little bit about that if any's currently in court and facing that conjecture. But I'll say it now. It's not admissible in court worldwide. It's pseudoscience, meaning it's not based on a evidence and a fact. It's conjecture, and a case cannot be ruled on this, and neither should it be mentioned in a case. So this
Mm-hmm.
is just for the benefit of the parents. If you see this come up quickly, you've got a rebuttal. with it and just say, no, you cannot use this. It's not a factual thing. And any court case cannot be family court cannot be based on parental alienation because it's not proven, it's not accepted worldwide. But what you do see is they flip the tables and they will try to use it on the parents, but it's because of their malicious intent to pin or to put the parents against each other and also to manipulate it. And we're seeing this with Sister Nya. What they were doing is projecting upon her that she is alienating the children when that was not the case whatsoever. But what they are actually doing, they are hypocritical because this is what they are doing, which is obvious in their intent. It's so obvious that they are actually, this is part of their pseudoscience. They are actually doing this because it's related to the pseudoscience with the human experimentation with what they're doing on the children, but also studying the effects of the torture on Sister Nya. So they're very manipulative with denying her time to see the children maybe once an hour a week or 2 weeks, while they're doing at the same time giving the ex the children are allowed to go with him for a couple days at a time, but then they're rubbing it in Ya's face, if you will, to create more of a torture as well. So it's very devious what we're seeing, but it's so beautiful to the extent that we are documenting so much evidence and sharing the information on everything worldwide to the other moms and dads, but also exposing all of this. And what I will say here publicly, I don't have facts yet, but what I fully feel is what we're uncovering in Austria is the tip. We're just breaking through the iceberg of a much deeper, heinous, insidious crime because we are and we have proven for ourselves, which we can prove for a court, that there's actual intent here to take the children. And this is why then it was brought into the GPMS arena as well. Because if there was not any intent that was obvious, it was only us thinking it was there. No, this would not come into GPMS because then it's only hearsay. But the reason we brought it in is because it has all the substantial supporting evidence for this, even though we may not have the facts yet. The intent is, and the manipulative intent is proven to the degree that it's covering up something else, that what's occurring is actually part of something much deeper. But about your signature or anything, yeah, go ahead, Sister Agnes, if you had any questions.
I was I was very yes, I found it very courageous that they spoke about it, and I hope that much more people, mothers and fathers, and also like social workers and maybe lawyers and maybe attorneys step up and speak about it, what's behind the scenes. So I found it so strong, and just to hear this, what they talk about it, and so you look away. So when you have much more people, it opens the door for Divine-gpms.world. And the last thing, what I want to say is when you talk about at the beginning about the opening statement, it would be maybe also wonderful to have a child, because it's also for children that one child read it, this opening statement. So with 10, 12 years, you can read it. Wonderful. Or many children, maybe. I don't know. So that's an idea for this wonderful, yeah, gpms.world. Thank you very much. That was important. Thank you.
Very nice. Rick, just a little bit, because the people, when they think to the vote, they think to the only for the adults all the time. We are saying also it is for the children, but at the same time, they still cannot see that. So probably also to add on the opening or statement or everything you said there, that it is for the children, but also to push a little bit more than the consent has to be for every child, also
Well,
orphanages and everything, or like an example or something like that. I do not know, because we have, for example, in Uganda, it's about 5 million of orphanages from a 40 million of population. And so it is a lot, it is a very high number on this side.
what I suggest, if I may, then for Sister Agnes, where she brought it up, by all means, if you wish to volunteer, yeah, do a little one up, and we'll put this right after our introduction one. I'd love that. Yeah, put it simpler for the children and pass it to Sister Beatrice. You two collaborate, if you will, and yeah, let's do this and get one and get that out there as well. I love it. And everyone use your own ingenuity and creativity to do anything. And, with this, that's what this all is. It's not, as I say, just about me. It's being, let's say, it's not I being the leader of all of this. It's everyone being the leader, standing shoulder to shoulder. And as I mentioned, please don't idolize me or put me above yourself. This is not what this is about. Yes, I need just enough recognition that I am uh, perhaps the main guarantee of GPMS at times, but that is all. It's not. All of you here and many more are brothers and sisters of equality to effect this heaven on earth for everyone. And don't let anything restrict any of you. You have in your heart the guidance of how you contribute and complement to this. And it's so important. You don't need to ask I or anyone else. If you feel divinely inclined to do something, please just do it and act on it. Don't be restricted by that. Um, one other quick little thing is uh, you're in Germany, Agnes, and I believe, and one of the things what I see is that there's ones also that are trying with their children abduction cases. They're trying to go the constitutional route or the constitutional court. What I quickly say with this, it's futile as well for the simple reason that any decision that a constitutional court makes, it relies on the enforcement of the legal system. But when the legal system is compromised and acting unlawful, there is no one to enforce the constitutional laws. And this is the same with international law. If you want to go a step above, the ones to actually enforce international law is the legal systems and the governments themselves. But if they're all corrupt, you have no enforcement. And that's what has been prevailing up until this time, if you will. So ones need to be informed. Do not waste time with trying the constitutional right, if you will, because of who enforces it. And the legal system is actually corrupt for empowering child care services to break the laws that they're breaking. So it's important to know this as well. But what I also say, just because I say this doesn't mean to stop putting out some form of letters towards the Constitutional Court, because it does have a energetic effect. So you wish to use all of your tools, if you will, but it's important to be conscientious of what you are giving to the constitutional courts, to bring it from the higher consciousness levels and, of course, the higher morality, to just say this is not acceptable. And this is currently part of where we're at with the strategy with Sister Nya right at this time. But I got to go for one moment.
I believe that the people from India, they are losing the internet connection sometimes, and we still have three of the representatives of India here. If somebody wants to speak, so at this time there are around 200 representatives for India with GPMS, but only three here present today. It is somebody that wants to speak, please. We have Anselma, Aziz, Parsat. So Aziz, he said that he knows other language, not English, but we have also a software, then he can speak also directly on his language. I don't think he set up the software for today. Okay. So if it is not understanding me today, thank you so much anyway, Aziz, for your presence. And I will try to communicate with you on writing and to be aware about the software, because you need also to see what you are saying. Parsad or Anselma, if you'd like to participate directly with voice, and if you have something to say, please. Agnes, do you still have a message, or is just the hand left?
I try to put my hand down, but I have this on my telephone and I can find the button.
Okay,
No,
done. It's done. Thank you. And also Lodi. I hear nothing from Lodi today. Hi, Lodi. What is the
Hi, good
Philippine
evening.
doing?
I am still on the on the master list from Palawan. So I'm right now currently doing the encoding while listening to the conversation. What came into my mind is I I've been hearing or listening to some videos about the three waves of ascension. So, Broderick, I would like to hear from you if those three waves, what is the connection with GPMS, or is the three waves about the consciousness only, or does it have connection with the GPMS, the divine plan?
Yeah, thank you, Sister Lodi. Typically, there's more than three waves of ascension now. And typically, when I use this expression with the waves, it's yes, the levels of consciousness, if you will, the ability to perceive and rationalize at the higher levels. There are, we could say, several years ago, but still today, there are the three um, uh, first, what's the word? There are the three prominent waves with this that is going forward. that is leading all of the other waves, the subsequent waves. So again, there are the three major forward waves, and it's pyramidal in shape is a way to visualize it. So what you have is your top wave of ascendees, which is taking the consciousness forward, is a relatively small number. These are the pioneers, if you will, the guardians that do a lot of the seeding and preparation and keep breaking through the higher levels of consciousness and purveying it outward back to the other waves. The second wave, if you will, it's right on the cusp of joining GPMS, but it's been on the cusp of that for quite a while, and it keeps coming closer. And an example of the second wave is you might see a spiritual teacher or divine one out there saying everything about GPMS, but they just don't connect it to GPMS yet. So these are indications of your second wave that they are endowed with that GPMS is coming, but they just haven't connected the two dots yet. So this second wave has many good peers and examples as well. And ideally, it would have been better, but it may be so yet. In the second wave are the prominent influencers that when they come, they will bring millions or even more followers with them as well. And then you have a third broader wave spectrum of consciousness and energetics as well. See, consciousness, energetics, and love, it's all one powerful instrument combined with the belief in God as well. Your belief, if you don't have a belief in a faith in, let's say, something otherworldly, at least, you have no direction out of this reality. So your beliefs are very important, and to believe in Mother and Father God, because that belief also in your heart and in your consciousness, it places you in the heaven place where they reside, the heaven reality. So what this does, it gives you that direction to be able to realize and be a part of that creation of it, if you will. So your belief and your faith is so important, but also your demeanor, your core values, your principles that you need to, each one needs to refine to the purest, because everything is energy. And if you are an aggressive, angry one, yet, if you will, that's negative energy that lowers you down. It is the opposite of where you want to go. Positive goes upward, and negative stagnates and brings ones down. This is why it's so important to do all of this inner work and change what you were in the past. And in this great time, there are absolutely many leopards that do change their spots, if you will, because this is the time of purity and redemption. And I'll use myself for an example. When I was human here, I was a commercial fisherman, and pretty well all fishermen were liars, if you will, to protect your fishing areas and what have you. So that was part of the thing that I did. I was a chronic liar to that respect, for protecting, but mostly I was a good, honest person. But there's certain times you just would not tell the truth, to protect your own self-interest. And that's the way society was designed. But when I become divine Rick, if you will, then it's total selflessness. It is all of us do, all of us on here today. You are in the selflessness mode to whatever degree, because what we're doing, it's all volunteer work. Yes, we are doing it, let's say, marginally or incrementally for ourselves, but we're actually doing all of this for humanity as a whole. So there is that difference with it. But again, the purification is so important. And when when I first got my identity in this incarnation back and spoke with Father, it was so easy for I, because instantly with that conversation is the same as speaking with you today. I'm given all the answers and what to do, and that's all applied, instantly, because there is no doubt when you speak with the head honcho, if you will. Then there is no questioning, there is no doubt. You just obey fully, and it's simple when you're given all of the answers. And having said this, I'm so impressed with so many, how they could get so far without having any doubt, if you will, that God is very real. Because in my experience as a human, I needed to speak to Father directly to know that, because I was so conditioned in my human form as well, that for I was one of the greatest. I told Father before, I'm one of his greatest skeptics, if you will, and but nevertheless, without rambling on. So yes, three prominent waves. I don't wish to demean any, but the first wave of pioneers. They are not fully all with GPMS yet. The number of the first waivers is relatively small, but what I can say is that it's over 600 individuals, and really I anticipated we'd have that many here now. But for divine reasons and reasons beyond our control, yet on Earth, the numbers are still few.
Thank you. The reason for my observation about the three waves of ascension is that initially, here in the Philippines, initially when we talk to someone about GPMS, of course, they are seeing the material benefits, the financial abundance primarily. So they instantly, almost instantly, volunteer to be a guardian, to share the information and collect names. But as time goes on, the first ones that have been working with me for GPMS, when they hear me share information about ascension, about the energetics, I have observed that they are somehow having conflicts of ideas, especially when I am telling them that this is apocalyptic, this is what is said in the revelation. Then it's coming in their mind that, oh, it's very, very remote to happen in this lifetime. That's the feedback that I am getting. But of course, with my experience, I first came across different organizations promising financial abundance before I came to know GPMS. And then when I have decided that I will volunteer for GPMS, my consciousness began to expand, and I felt it within me that there are blockages. There are some things I have to do first before I can go on with this mission for GPMS. So with those brothers and sisters, um, I'm feeling that they are also going through same process that I've been. So I am not in any way bothered that some are now taking their time and hopefully hopefully they will go on with the journey upwards and forwards very soon. So I am hopeful, very, very hopeful.
Yes, sister. And you know, all of those to come forward will, but I just thought to add on about the three waves of ascension. That was the divine plan that not all would be ascending up until linear year 2015. However, in linear year 2015, the divine plan changed to the effect that it would go into a planetary ascension. And then, because of that, all the souls, children of God, if you will, about 6 billion, were part of the overall ascension. And this is also one of the reasons why the original divine plan of ascension was prolonged. So, on the divine levels, if you will, all of you, perhaps here at the soul level, unbeknownst to you, had then chose to agree with all of the other souls to give them the opportunity of the ascension as well. So I wanted to share that and what has occurred, as I say, with I and others, and perhaps all of you here, you're all ready to go, but we're kept here divinely because of the divine plan in the mission, what's involved in this. Um, and you know, very quickly, when you mention to anyone like in the Bible as one of the biggest references, and of course there's more. It is written that you know they can see it. Matthew 24 is a great one. If they don't have Revelations in their Bible, it depends on which Bible they have, but it's prevalent throughout, meaning that it doesn't matter um, what written part of their faith that they may have, whether written or just common knowledge. But having said this, one thing you can do, Lodi, what I'm called to do, you know, in more in the last perhaps 6 months, is to show ones that if you got a flood in the Philippines with things floating down the street, unprecedented flooding, higher water, that they need to connect the dots worldwide to see that it's happening in many places with unprecedented flooding, vehicles being washed down city streets. I just put out one, I think, from Mexico yesterday with the heavy rains, trucks like a crew cab trucks going down the rivers. You know, these are unprecedented things. So if one is a little skeptical, you can just tell them just go online and just do a little bit of research around the world and look at all of the hail and all of these things, and you know they can confirm it very quickly for themselves is what I suggest. So we don't need to talk about, or I don't readily, I need to give forward guidance at times, but meaning that we can just talk freely and share all of these things because it's already out there. It's so widespread that they can access it on social media. You have the divine digital warriors, if you will, that are putting all this information out. So again, it's irrefutable. But I know what you mean. Sometimes you can show everyone everything, but their eyes will just glaze over and they won't see any of it. These things do occur, but we persevere and we just keep going forward no matter what. There is no other way when you look at it. Thank you.
I was looking a little bit on the messages because this video is also shared on your Facebook. The people started to salute us all over the world, but I would like to see them here speaking. This would be nice, not to remain only on Facebook and comments. So just to come and participate also directly on the meetings. I see our son for a couple of meetings here with us. He never spoke nothing yet.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, just to add something that I'm seeing, there are so many, so different levels of reality, of cognition. You're talking about something so complex or something so simple, and I'm dealing with this range of different cognition, and it's very amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so meeting thousands and thousands of people, I found that the complex things cannot be developed with everyone. And as I told also to Rick, I programmed myself in 2020. I started to see that I had no success when I tried to speak about universal laws, do no harm and everything, and how this impact our lives. The people were not able to understand, or not all of them, in the street especially, or when you go door to door, academic, what we name as academic terms. So even that I have to university, a higher degree, professional recognized Canada, blah, blah. We have to get rid of these academic terms as much as possible and try to speak in a wording where in Canada we have also a lot of immigrants. English is my third language also, so to be understood by everyone, I started with very, very simple things to bring facts from the reality that we are living today. And for example, when they turn around, they started do not understand how the GPMS can be applied on their life. I started to ask them things that at the time I was also in Ontario. I started to ask him about the law of Ontario, common law there that they knew and impact their life. So all the time I match the reality that we are living today. And I started to say, okay, so this will be changed in this way, this will be changed. So showing the impacts, because it's not possible. We are on the ascension. For example, many Christian, they are not able still to see we are energy. So if I will start to speak about a lot about ascension or many, many doors may be closed and they will see, do you know, I believe on God. So please let me, you are telling me we are energy. This is not Christianity. Sorry for that, bye. But if we are saying, did you have ever an experience with courts and everything? And they are saying, oh, they are awful. Oh, thank you so much. Would you like a law like, harm just, Oh, this is the government that is harming us a lot. So there we are able to start. I put a lot of effort also by a batch of 100 people on question what they answer. After that, I switch the other question on 100 people other, and to find in the marketing, you see it's like when you have the advertising, to see something that you can say in 1 minute, because the span attention is a very short one, in 1 minute what you can say to attract them, because when you are on the street, for example, or in the park or something like, they will not react very well to the image, to the impact, to the energy practically. And I will tell you something, the best are not the words. I try in many ways. In Alberta, autonomy, self-governance, it's working, but the best way it's the smile and your presence, like good energy, good influence, and everything, that you have something amazing to share. So they become like blind a little bit on the smiling and everything that is coming towards them. And they receive a card even though they have no idea, because the most important, let them the card and they may discover after. Because if they reject the card, they are saying no, there is no website to visit. So I was looking a lot and I try to, so I have also programming, a very strong programming on me since 2020, and I'm moving on the basic things, because the basic things has to be seen by everyone. And we have a lot in Canada, we have a lot of people coming from other countries that they never studied again in Canada, like university or something like. They have blockage also on the language, they are not able to understand. And if you try to speak something very complex, they cannot understand. Via the video may be different because they have a subtitle, but the subtitle is not running, for example, on Rumble, or it's only on YouTube, sometimes on Facebook. So it depends. And GPMS needs to be addressed to everyone. It's like, and we know that the university on this, we are saying third dimension, because they are still there. They never changed their program yet. So they will not let you to see too much, from the reality. They are exactly how they've shared the video, do not be able to see the wall. So this was a very good video. It's an excellent one that I knew this video, because I'm freedom fighter since 2010. I know a lot from Q and everything, but at the same time, what is developing more and more on 2025, they're like, after the Trump enter, it was all the time waiting time, we are doing so waiting time because everything will collapse. Just practically they are asking to believe on them, but I do prefer to believe on God. Okay, so they may help, but I believe to prefer on God and to do GPMS because it's absolutely higher. And the second one, it was like the message why they are there, because we need still something to happen until GPMS is happening. So this is because the people cannot hear GPMS well. So this is the understanding. Then some parts of the ascension can be a very how can I say, a subject that probably many may not prefer yet. So they will come. This is the best thing on the videos with Rick, because Rick explained a lot of ascension, and this will remain. So this video, even that will have, so we are saying 100 views today, this may have other thousand and thousand in the future. Then they will discover that at the time, what happened with the ascension when they will open their eyes. Yeah, yes. So, and more people, when more and more will find also people coming, so they will speak to different level and everything. But the basic one, it's all the time understood. So the highest one has to be also inserted, because we need that information. Absolutely needs to be shared. But at the same time, is not everyone able to understand that level yet. Yes, Rick.
Thank you, sister. So, Sister Beatrice and I, we were doing typically Saturday night interviews here for Romania, and quite a few views, perhaps 1,000 or 2,000 or even more. But the point with that, we've been putting out so much ascension knowledge and GPMS knowledge over the last several weeks. And despite the huge audience, and I believe they keep watching, we've only had about, I think, 4 or 5 new Romanian consents from that. The point being is that the interest is there, that we're seeding it, and there has to be that ignition point when it registers. So there is that, uh, what would I call it? Our efforts should not be underestimated, is one way to put it. So I believe, on many places worldwide. We have the seeds are there. We have the attention, but for whatever reason, they're just not taking the next step or connecting the next dot yet. Um, Also in Peru, as I brought up when it come to my attention by Sister Yolanda, still I have not seen any consents from there, and it's been about a month. And with Sister Yolanda's update is that very quickly, I think they had 10 or 15,000 getting ready to come into GPMS. And I believe she was doing radio shows there. They were very interested, but yet here we don't see them yet. So when you look at these, could be very good, pleasant surprises, hopefully in the very near future. Uh, to add on to what question Frank, in part of what we were looking at on the insurance pressuring ones, I need to also say the inflation worldwide is a very suppressive pressuring upon the people. And not only that, because of what's occurring with the floods, the fires, the hailstones, you're getting many crops are damaged as well worldwide. And the way the old economics works is with supply and demand. So what you also typically begin to see is a great inflation in at least some countries in relation to your produce. And this puts even more burdening on the people to really say, this is ridiculous. There has to be something else. This is insanity. For example, if you want to buy an apple and it's $3 or what have you, but also here, what I've been seeing in Romania, we got hit in uh, let's say, several or more areas with huge hailstones that damaged crops. And I did see reports of this, some quite large fields, what it looked in the photographs in the posts of crops just fully damaged, and perhaps, obliterated, that most of the crop, I've heard them said, was ruined with this. So Romania, it's very good. It's the highest produce that I have tasted worldwide. In Canada, Canada was good in the north, but I mean, it's more of a variety, and the produce is better. It's higher quality here in Romania, but the thing is, a lot of damage has come not only from the flooding, but also from the hail, as I said. And in Romania, all of you really need to know, if you don't yet, that uh, let's just say a working at the minimum age or wage, one here gets like about 20 or 30 euros a day, which is really nothing. And we are seeing the prices already began to rise here over the last several months, putting even more pressure on the people. And again, this is not just isolated to Romania, as we know with Canada and the US. This is very important because it's affecting the masses, the biggest portion of humanity. And again, what is the straw that breaks the camel's back? How much can the people take? Humanity, as a rule, are very adept at acclimatizing to any situation, at surviving. But what's occurring when all of their survival tools are being diminished and there is nothing left? They have to create the change, and they will. So, and not only that, with what has occurred in the last 4 years, without mentioning its exact words, so we don't perhaps get violated. This many deaths are occurring as a result, and that's also escalating and not being reported on. But it doesn't matter if it's not in the mainstream media. It's common knowledge to the greatest extent worldwide. So again, we have so many good contributing factors. When you look at it all and put it all together, right at this moment here today, where are the people? Where are the souls? Ideally, you would think at this time everyone would be here with GPMS because of the simplicity in it being the ultimate solution. But we keep doing our best, and we put it in every way we present it. I know I do, in every way that I can perceive, so that they can get the simplicity of it. But the real truth is that their consciousness is blocked from it. And this is why it doesn't matter what you say. And, I even say, this is your lifetime lottery. And it doesn't register. They don't even hear it yet. But, for partially divine reason and other resistance reasons. But we do break through. Again, everything's been written for this time, and we're witnessing the worldwide destruction of Babylon, and that is what's occurring. And the beast lives; its days are very short, if you will. But thank you.
Yeah, just because you mentioned about Armenia, there are few know, but they will come, Rick, because practically this group where we are going, Adrian was the speaker there, practically the main speaker there. And to answer to your what you said, Everson, again. So Adrian has also to university. He's also attorney, also economist at the same time, and so he understands the reality. But he's speaking very colorful with colors, and this attract a lot of people. So when Adrian is coming, it's about 6,000 views, 10,000 views, something like, when I and Rick were coming, because Adrian right now, he's in jail, put by the actual government of Romania. When we started there, it's about 2,000 views around. And the question was why by the host, that the host understands both for sure, color and non-color, and the host has also a very good background. And he said, oh, but the people are not coming when we are speaking spirituality and everything. No, it's not that. So they choose, they cannot see the simplicity of GPMS. So this is a little bit so Adrian saw the impact on the people. He saw that he's not able, if he will speak like in university with academic terms and everything, he's not able to move through, because he started also in the past as freedom fighter, like to expose the reality and everything. And the people gather when they saw picture, when they saw, so, and he started to speak also colorful, but he's also not to the level of rituals too. So he was able to attract at the time people. More we advance with years and years, more people will come towards Rick. So it's like, the balance will be a little bit on the other side. But this started it. Yeah, and because of the jail time, Rick, right now, what Adrian post there, he has some comments that have no their place. But anyway, he's also kept under medication, everyday medication. So this may be also a part of the reason, but I'm telling you what he's saying right now. Sometimes it's shocking me. But anyway, yeah, so this is the impact of the jail time at home, but he was also on jail time for 60 days. Yes, so we have already almost 2 hours for today. I hope that many people will start to join and speak. And so this will gather more people, because if I'm speaking all the time, this will do not gather more people. Only when many will start to speak. Yeah, so if there's
It will. It will. I'll just add in here because I was just given this. Again, there will be no extensive wars that's being taken care of on a high level, and two indications that it is military base in Nevada underground. Things are occurring, and also when you look in Russia and Moscow, but not only there, you need to look in the Saudi Arabia, Iran as well. What you're seeing is unknown explosions and unknown fires happening in chemical plants, missile production plants. So what is occurring is that the divine galactic element ensuring that there is no widespread war. The situation in Israel and the Middle East there, if you will, is allowed to, at least in the past, to occur to the level that it has. But truly, there is one more thing that needs to play out there that did not occur yet, which is a significant worldwide event, of which I will not put much more on other than saying that it is coming, and it is connected to the ongoing fighting there. So there is a very important divine reason to whatever degree for it, but I do anticipate and do energize that it dissipates very shortly. And also, it needs to be known worldwide with the beliefs. It has to change that everywhere worldwide, the entire Gaia is special and important, not just Israel. Everywhere is equally important, and this age-old ridiculous religious fighting as well has got to go. It no longer serves, but this will occur. With that, we got a new, uh, just to remind everyone, we got a new Divine-gpms website. So you got to put in Divine-gpms.world. We are also getting ready. We have a scripted email wrote up to our existing GPMS guardians and representatives to update and inform them on this as well. And just a couple other small updates will be going out in that mass email, but it will not be limited just to the existing perhaps 600 GPMS representatives and guardians now. It actually, that number is for ones that have volunteered with Sister Nya, it was up at least 9,000. So there was a lot more that volunteered with us, and yet, here we see today we only have a small number, but it's to also, just because they're not there yet, because like using the example of Sister Lodi, she discovered blockages that she had to work on, herself. This is a typical thing too, especially when one volunteers to take a much greater role with GPMS as being a representative or a guardian. They actually undergo a purity process that involves they need to have the certain experiences to actually master and apply the test so that they raise further into their divinity. So it's an essential part of being a true guardian as well. So they undergo their individual tests and overcoming what they will identify as blockages, but really they're not blockages. Those are the tests, as Sister Lodi knows, and they are just your experience that you need to have to advance to another level. And also the overall divine plan is regulated as such that all of you are very powerful. And like as Jesus said, all of us, all of you will do greater things than what Jesus ever did, meaning that you already have that full ability and capacity. The only thing is that it's regulated by the divine plan. Yes, the divine plan, everything is being rushed with this ascension, yet there are still the variables that play roles in this as well. So everything is ascertained. It's just, again, we don't really know when, in the blink of an eye, things can occur. We see, um, the worldwide floods, everything escalating. So it does mean that it's getting closer. I had a couple, at least two messages the other day, I think three, saying that they feel something big is happening or coming now. And what I say, I confirm it, yes, that I feel it, but also that I'm not given what exactly it is. I'm just not divinely privy to that, but I feel it as well. And something huge. And of course, always assign the good things for it, because we would not be here doing this and going through this experience if we were to fail. And that is not an option at all. We are to persevere, and this is why we are endowed and bestowed with the divine gifts that everyone has, and even more as we advance. So simply keep in your faith and your trust, keep connected to Prime Creator, Mother, and Father. You have to emphasize the importance of the mother factor, because we have to transition into equality out of what could be considered an old patriarchal rule. That is not equality. That's not harmony. It's not balance. So the heaven on earth is feminine and masculine together as one in balance and harmony. And in this new heaven on earth, it is not an extensive decision-making process. With it, everything is flow and harmony, so everyone can just be their self and be with the one of the opposite sex of what they wish to be with, typically. And I don't want to open another door of a conversation with what I just said, but this is the thing: be an equal brothers and sisters and enjoying everything in harmony and balance. And this is also why it's so important to uplift the mother principle of God in whatever way you see it. If you see the mother principle as being Earth, Gaia, that's perfectly fine. But wherever you may place her, it's important to uplift her and to uplift all of the mother creators and all of the feminine on Earth, because I love the story, which is true, that none of us would not be here if it was not for our mothers. So, and you could say it takes the father too, um, but you could have the father, if you will, fertilized. But if something happens to the mother and she dies, you don't get here. So again, the mother is very important, and everyone needs to know that and respect and appreciate that. And we need to uplift the feminine at this time. Without going into further detail, I think I've said enough for today. If anyone else said anything in closing, or just, sister, you're the host, and just whatever you feel.
Yeah, you are the host of the Zoom reality, because if not, you cannot share on Facebook. But anyway, thank you so much,
That's true, but
everyone.
I
Yeah.
consider you the host.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone that participated today. And we really, really hope that all people that I saw today also in the comments, they will come and they will start to speak. It is very important, because the comments, the video will be shared on Rumble, on YouTube, but the comments will still remain only on Facebook. So please come on the video and share your message. This is very, very important for all the people to see you, and speak also about GPMS and universal laws, because many, many people, exactly as Rick observed, they still do not know their rights. And this is a very huge point. So from here we start. And thank you so much to everyone that will share this video. And I hope that we can see you soon next week. Thank you.
And
Have a great
if I
day.
may ask, yeah, and if I may add, what just come in, I believe if everyone here, if you're here next week and whoever, I believe let's speak about all of the good benefits of the new world, how it'll be, and what we enjoy in there, and elaborate, more on all of this to give a combined presentation of all of us, to the world, what it actually brings and how it's the absolute solution to everything. So I believe if everyone's up to that, we'll do next week educational one on all of the goodies that GPMS has. But with that, what I say is love, light, and gratitude, everyone. And I'm going to put the Facebook one off, and we can stop recording, sister. And everyone have an amazing day.